Hello everyone, Comrade Snake here, bringing you the after action of turn 5 of scenario 2 in Fitna. So some interesting things have happened, some of which was a little bit anticipated, at least was plausible, but it happened pretty alright. The most important thing here is that the Free Syrian army has taken Damascus. So they lost the militia in the attacks, but that heavy air campaign card, or just air campaign card, successfully reduced 2 of the Syrian units prior to the attack, and with some lucky rolls and card play, we were able to end up taking Damascus, even with the loss of those 2 militia, which actually, now that I think about it, I forgot to strategic move the Star militia back up to Damascus for some extra defense. And then the Syrian player had counterattacked. We saw that before. They had taken Aleppo back and Hama prior to the taking of Damascus, kind of re-securing this side of the country. Are going to kind of try to reorganize to see if they can push the Turks out. But then this happened, so that's going to change the whole situation. They used a Daesh card to have that's why Baghdadi was out of Aleppo. Then there was an attack at Deir ez-Zor, which had been taken back from the Kurds. So there's 2 spaces that are now under control, oil spaces under control of ISIS, but they're pretty weak at this point. Turkish forces didn't do anything. Syria regained Aleppo and kind of consolidated this section. That loss of Damascus is pretty significant, and there is potential here to have another battle in Damascus as the close air support and Kayushas are available to the Syrian player, and they have a decent card, 8-value card, strikes on Syria, which obviously they're not going to use for the effect. But that's 8 values, so they can move a lot of forces and try to kick out Damascus, or take back Damascus rather, in this last turn here. The rebel player is doing pretty decently, and they're potentially about to do better. So they have a lot of cards here for helping in combat. The missiles for the Brave is for Kurds, which probably doesn't really help, so they can burn that for some points to try to do some actions here. They got combat engineers and IEDs. IEDs is going to be crucial for defending Damascus here. Most importantly, they have the coup in Iraq card. That's going to be important, both because Iraqi player, I'm not looking over the victory conditions again. I can probably take a look at that in between here for this last turn, but this might be something that can severely harm their Iraq's abilities here, because they're still doing solid. But over here, they just have almost complete control over their country. They did make 1 attack into the Kurds, which was repulsed, but they rolled a 1, even though it was a high scale. They rolled a 1. They used strategic depot to just do some small moves and attack, and 1 strategic movement of a weakened infantry brigade into Kirkuk, and they're going to try to push the last of the Kurdish regiment there out of Iraq. But for the most part, they just kind of sat back and let things happen. So not a whole lot going on there. They got some good combat cards to kind of finish the job, and end up getting this naval incident for +2 international tension, which they're probably not going to bother. It's the last turn, but they got 4 points for that. So overall, the situation is just, I think, really going to come down to that coup in Iraq card and if Syria can retake Damascus. So for this scenario, let's check the victory conditions right now. The Syrian player has to take Damascus back if they want a shot for any kind of victory at all. The rebel player, let's see here. With Damascus, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they have enough for a minor victory. with 6 spaces. If they take one more and still maintain control of Damascus or potentially take control of Aleppo, they have to have one or the other. They can get a major victory. Decisive victory requires 8 spaces and Aleppo and Damascus, which I don't think is going to be in the cards here. Iraqi player needs Basra, Najib, Kabbalah, and Baghdad, which they have Basra, they have Baghdad. Karbula, which I believe they have. Where is it? Najaf, where's Kabul? Where's Kabul? Oh, okay, yeah, Kabul. Okay, it's not a red space. Karbula's this space, which they have control over. And the other one is, the other prerequisite is Najaf. Oh, there. Okay, so they have to control these, which I'm sure, I guess, probably based on the scenario, they're probably ISIS controlled at one point, the high water mark. So then you control those, or maybe it's where they stop them. And then they need to control multiple spaces, including, yeah, quite a lot of spaces. Like they control most of the country, including Fallujah for major victory, decisive victories, Mosul and Fallujah, which they have both. So it's just going to be a matter of, do they have enough spaces? I think they probably do. Let's do a quick count while camera's going. We got, okay, Basra. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. They have 25, so they do have enough for a decisive victory. So that coup in Iraq card may be crucial here to upsetting that. Yeah, so it's going to actually get, it's hard, it doesn't seem like it just because of the way the board looks, but with that coup in Iraq card and stuff, the situation's actually very fluid. So that's going to be interesting because we have a lot of units that could potentially flip basically to the Syrian rebel player or the rebel player, even though the Iraqi rebel units don't cross borders or vice versa. But if that occurs, where we have, I mean, we have a lot of Iraqi units here that could potentially flip, and if they do, there's a few, that's a loyal one. There's some loyal, there's not a lot of loyal units. The militia, I believe, are by default loyal. Says it doesn't do militia units, right? Each Iraqi unit present in the game. Yeah, because the Sunni and or rather the Shia militia count as a separate thing. So there's going to be a lot of units that are going to potentially flip, and that can change the outcome here pretty significantly. So we'll see how it all goes, but that was a summary there of turn 5, last turn coming up, and we'll see how it ends. All right, catch you next time.